is Michael Oni. Now, this morning, what do I have for you? Well, fantastic. You must have followed what happened at the National Assembly yesterday on our news bulletins. Of course, it was on the 6:45 a.m. That's the news at dawn, right here on the floor of Godson State this morning, where the National Assembly passed the electronic transmission of results bill. That's talking about the Electoral Act Amendment Bill into law, including the electronic transmission of results. But of concern to us this morning is the issue of direct primary. Of course, concerns about the compulsory direct primaries. That will be the focus of our conversation this morning on the platform. Historians have long debated how epochal changes in society occur, something that societal change happens mainly through big bang events such as wars, revolutions, or pandemics. Others believe society changes largely through the accumulation of small bits of changes in various sectors that reaches a tipping point. Now, in Nigeria, it is difficult to know how change can occur. We have had a few of big bangs since 1960. For example, talking about the big bangs we've had, the return to democracy after 3 decades of military rule was a big bang moment for Nigeria, among other examples. But there is presently no indication that the big bangs I'm talking about will necessarily change the nature and the substance of governance presently witnessed in Nigeria. So perhaps we are focused on the small changes, and the most recent amendment in the Electoral Act, once assented to by the president, will count among the small changes that will move the society forward. So INEC will transmit results of elections electronically and therefore free from the interference if it wants. But perhaps the most important small change in the amendment to the Electoral Act is the provision that all political parties in Nigeria must now conduct direct primaries for all elective positions. Clause 87, subsection 1 of the amendment bill states that a political party seeking to nominate candidates for elections under this bill shall hold direct primaries for aspirants to all elective positions, which shall be monitored by the Commission. For simple definitions, for those joining and do not have an idea of what direct primary is, direct primary is the one whereby members of a political party choose their party's candidates, while an indirect primary is one whereby party members elect delegates from among themselves, who in turn decide the party's flag bearers for upcoming elections. Anyways, but with the atmosphere already warming up for the 2023 general elections, some have applauded this move, while others see it as infringement on the independence and internal democratic workings of individual political parties. Well, this morning, we're going to emphasize on the significance of this new provision in our electoral laws if the president eventually assents to it. Joining me this morning, of course, to talk about those concerns about compulsory direct primaries as pushed into the bill by the Nigerian National Assembly is Dr. Leornard Ezenwa. He's the chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council, Ipac. Glad to have you join us this morning, Dr. Leornard. Good morning to you and welcome to the platform on Flu FM.
It's a pleasure to always be with you. Thank you very much.
All right. Can you hear me?
Very, very well. I can hear you loud.
Okay, fantastic. Let's begin the conversation. I know it's not shocking to you because it's been in the news for a while now. But the big question we're starting with is, does it has the potential, that provision, to change everything in our elections going forward and hopefully our democracy and the governance more broadly? Okay, we're going to we are going to reconnect with Dr. Leornard, since we have issues with the connection there, so that we can have a smooth conversation this morning on the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions on Flow 94.9 FM. We're trying to reach Dr. Leornard once again so that we can have a smooth and clear conversation on the platform. It is the pinnacle of all discussions, and we're looking at those concerns, of course, talking about the provisions made in that bill passed by the National Assembly yesterday, talking about the electoral amendment bill, where the provision was made that henceforth it is going to be about direct primaries for political parties in electing, of course, selecting their aspirants, their candidates rather, for elective positions, and which it will be monitored by the commission. Of course, you have an idea of what direct primaries is, whereby members of the political party, all members of that political party, choose their party's candidates, while the indirect primary is the one whereby party members elect delegates from among themselves, who in turn decide the party's flag bearers for upcoming elections. Thank you very much, Dr. Leonard. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, loud and
Okay.
clear, right.
That's fantastic. So let's talk about the significance of this new provision in our electoral laws. If the president eventually assents to it, does it has the potential to change everything in our elections going forward, and hopefully our democracy?
Let me just upfront say that I'm not excited about the part change that was recorded like ascension of this week by the president. Yes, the bill has several components that are hearing. It has components but that particular aspect that has to do with direct primaries is one that was designed specifically to be that cost with parties in Nigeria. And it was deliberately done to ensure that the younger political parties are smoked out of the space. That's exactly what we did. Now, we need to be very, very careful about this. In the year 2021, we shouldn't be talking about Athenian democracy. The Athenian democracy is direct primaries. Even without the direct primaries, you still have limited suffrage. When you have only male of 20 years and above actually votes. And they have what they call substitution. Substitution is. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, Doctor.
Yes. And you also have that attendant that's called substitution. Substitution is an arrangement where a ballot is done and then you put the line in it. Will have a part of the electoral system. This is the attendant democracy in the Greek days. And that is what is trying to be done in this country now. And so it is not only progressive, it is not only anti-democratic, it is not only designed to smoke out the young political parties out of this place. But the motivation for this particular insertion into that bill is something that will not serve the polity well. Now, having said that, I want us to know that the party will not say because the direct primary was part of this bill, the bill should be killed.
Okay.
Yeah, the bill should be killed. But what we're doing is basically we cannot at this time begin to go on direct primary because one, it's expensive. Too expensive. Expensive in the sense that, for instance, if you have a party that have a membership base of say like 10 million, have a membership base of 10 million. If you are going compulsory direct primary, what that means is that these individuals or these party members have that simple education or find the creative means of having their primary to now select of the people that will present them in the election. Now you can understand the nightmare that will have. And so it is not properly done, and so we need to release that particular bill, that particular section of the bill, and see what we can do. So I do not see the political parties in Nigeria do not see any significant impact on account of that direct primaries.
All right.
That's my response to your question.
Just a moment. I'm going to take you on the practicability of this. If it becomes law, of course, the burden on the Independent National Electoral Commission. If you just joined us, it is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions right here on Flow 94.9 FM, the Flow of Godson State. And we're looking at the concerns of stakeholders in our electoral system, talking about the political parties, the politicians, about the compulsory direct primaries, of course, as signed into law yesterday. As passed, rather, yesterday. We were awaiting assent by the president, as passed into law by the upper chamber of the National Assembly. So it's about the issue of the red primaries included in the Electoral Reform Bill 2021, and is the approval that political parties in Nigeria should adopt the red primaries to choose candidates for all elective positions, and that they should be monitored by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The atmosphere, is already warming up for the 2023 general elections, and some have applauded that move. Now, we've been speaking with Dr. Leornard Ezenwa. He's the chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, national chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council. So, Dr. Leornard, can you hear me? Okay, great, fantastic. So let's talk about the practicability of this part of the bill that was passed by the Senate yesterday. Very, very important, because looking at the burden it is going to place on the Independent National Electoral Commission to ensure its practicability. INEC has to monitor political parties' elections across board. Do you think it is practicable in Nigeria?
It is not practicable. It is not practicable. That's why I said most times we need to be real when we do things. We don't do things because of emotion or sentiment. We don't do things because we want to please one particular person or the other. We don't do things because others are doing it. We do things because of practicality. It is simply impracticable because, as we speak, INEC has been unable to monitor elections across the federation on account of the limited number of personnel it has. That is across all elections. Now you are also adding another burden of internal elections of political parties in this level. And so it will not be proper. It is not going to be feasible for INEC in terms of resources, in terms of logistics, in terms of personnel, and in every other ramification of it. INEC will not be able to cope. And so it is nightmarish. It will bog that particular institution down, and we are going to have a lot of legal issues. We are going to have a lot of legal issues that we're managing from this. Now we know what we're experiencing so far. Talk less of when we have this. So somebody who is maybe in Maiduguri and you're having a convention, you're having a party's congress or convention in Abuja, and the person is unable to come amongst the 10 million member base of that particular political party. The person has the right to sue the party. And when he sues the party, he has a legal right to sue the party, and anything can come up from there. So the parties will be enmeshed in litigations of all sorts. And so it is not something we need to talk about. It's not something that is not doable. It's not simply not doable. And so the president will have to reflect on his, he has to look at that properly and see what needs to be done. Yes, we agree with the content of the bill. We agree with all that other provisions, all that sections that have been impeached in the bill. But this particular one is anti-democratic.
How will you see it? But some persons are arguing that it is more democratic because every member of the political party has a say in picking the candidate that will flag their flag at any election. It means everyone participates in that electioneering process, talking about grassroots politics, Dr. Leornard.
No, it is a fantastic thing. There's nothing wrong with this. The concept is okay. It is almost unlike the option A4 that was practiced during the Bangladesh days. It's okay. But what we're saying is this: even in advanced climb where we pick democracy from, even United States of America, where we model our presidential system of government, there is no direct primary in this sense. We have it. We have the collegiate system. We have we have a marriage between direct and indirect. So, and for you to now impose on political party, asking them, it must be mandatory. Remember, it is not INEC that is doing this. It's politicians from one political party, I need to be very specific about it, that are moving for this. And let me just give you a clear example. You are in a 100-meter dash in a race, and what you have is that somebody is already placed on the 50-meter race and asking you guys to be on the starting block. The person that is at the 50-meter measurement there will of course outwit others. So the point is this: it's a good concept, but it's simply not practicable. Why is it not practicable? I've just given you a clear example. For a party that has that kind of membership base, there's no way it can do that. Now, would you go from one particular village to the other to do it? If you're going to do that, you're going to spend so much money in doing that. You're also going to mobilize several kinds of people in doing that. That is if you're going to have state congresses. Now, if you're going to have the national convention, it means also you have to convocate at a location, a central location. Now, will you consider the nightmare that will be involved in terms of logistics for moving these people from their respective constituencies to this particular location? So it is not feasible. It is not feasible. And if we're going to deploy technology in respect of doing this, we all know that we have not advanced to that stage where the ruggedness and the efficacy of our technology will handle this. Of course, the experience we have in Anambra is very clear. You have tech glitches that almost mar the whole entire thing. So we think this is not doable. We think it's impracticable.
Okay.
Yes, it conceptually is okay, but we need to marry practicality and conception and see how we can move forward.
How then do we eliminate the politics of godfatherism in the system, that in the type of politics that we play in Nigeria? Because some analysts are also of the opinion that this will eliminate the politics of godfatherism, the politics of the high-ranking members of the party deciding who should fly the party's flag for a particular elective position.
Yes. Let me be very strict with you. If you have human beings in a gathering, whether it is in the family, you have what we call family politics. In business, in corporate businesses, you have politics of the business. Now you also ask yourself, any organization in churches, you have politics of the church. Now, once human beings are involved, you must have contestation. Those who are in doubt will always outmaneuver, outwit, and then take the positions in that political party or whatever it is. Now, the point being made is there's no way you don't have godfatherism. Even in advanced democracy, you have people you have mentors. Now, the only difference between our own is that these mentors constructively, patriotically, mentor and guide their young ones to grow and develop the system. But ours is anchored on money, where because people are less endowed, so people that have the resources will now use them to drive them and robotize them regularly. So if we say we are going to completely eradicate godfatherism in Nigerian politics, I tell you, my brother, it's not feasible, it's not possible. Because first of all, there are people who have been in this system before you're coming in. And so you need some guide, you need some direction, you need some protection, you need some knowledge to be put into you. So, but the thing is, how is this thing done so that it does not look as if another person is enslaving the other person, or that person is using that person as a tool to achieve his goal? So this has happened, but it is our desire as the Council of Political Parties in Nigeria that these things are not done with. It will not be overnight.
Maybe I should come from the angle of prevention of imposition of candidates by powerful clique in court in a political party. Now, we've seen that in the past, even when indirect primaries are being used, and some persons, some analysts that are pushing, and of course some of these lawmakers pushing for these direct primaries being adopted by all political parties in Nigeria, saying that this will end this, and it will also ensure that everyone participates in the selection process. It is taking the democracy to the grassroots now. So how do we then eliminate that? If you are saying that we are not yet ripe for this process in the country.
No, I'm not saying we are not yet right.
Okay.
What I'm saying essentially is this: what is good is good. If you see black everywhere in the world, it is black. If you see white, it is white anywhere in the world. The color does not change. But what we need to do is that we need to understand the environment under which you operate. The environment which you operate is peculiar. Nigeria is a very peculiar environment. What happens in Ghana cannot happen here. What happens in Cameroon will not happen here, because Nigerians have a separate DNA and they have a culture they are used to. So you can't just come and bring those things there in here and it works. But that is not to say that Nigerians do not want good things, or good things are not what is aspired for. We need to be very clear about this. As I speak with you, it is less than 0.002% of members of political parties that actually pay their dues. They don't pay their dues. You have a political parties, you find out that many of those who are members do not pay their dues. Go to party A, party B, party C, party D, party E, party F. They do not pay their dues. And when you do not pay your dues, how will the party function? The government is not the government or INEC in not any way supporting the political party in terms of finance and funding. Now, so the party has got to find a creative way to also raise funds to manage the political parties, because these are national political parties. In doing that, there are people who are deeply concerned and committed to advancing the cause of that political parties. And these are the leaders of these parties. These leaders of these parties are people that always on call. They fulfill their obligations and rights or duties as leaders of political parties. They pay their dues. They make all the financial commitments. Somebody that has a football club will not want, as a coach, will not want the football club to die. So, if the coach, in this sense, reflect the leaders of political parties, when there are issues, they will come forward and pay the money, take the bullets, and do all kinds of things. Now, in doing that, it becomes incumbent on them to continue to run the political party. Now, when they begin to run the political party, they will organize, they will drive, they control, and make sure that everything is in order. And once that is done, you begin to hear this issue of certain clique in political parties also taking advantage of the other political party. The point being made is this: it is your level of engagement, the level of commitment, your ability to dutifully honor your obligation to political party that will stand you out as a member and also as a leader. Now, these people that do this, when they do it continually, they will also want to make sure that the party and those they want to be at various positions are there. It is natural. You want your child to be the first person in the class. You want your child, you will not want your child, and you would make every move and every effort to make sure that you get your child to the point where he becomes the first person in the class. And so the leaders are doing that. In trying to do that, now these accusations, allegations all crop up. But this is not to say that what you said is not correct. There are some leaders of political parties that are taking advantage of this and perpetually, in quotes, enslave other components of the political party. And that is why this party, the Ipac, is organized or structured to see how to address these issues.
I will take you on the position of Ipac on this particular issue. You've been speaking to us, of course, sharing your thoughts as Dr. Leonard, but I want to hear your thoughts as the chairman, the national chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council. Now, what is the position of your organization concerning this direction that the National Assembly is taking? And it might be a law if the president finally assents to that.
Yeah, we have engaged the members of National Assembly. We have done advocacy. We have also engaged the media in respect of this. Also, listing out why it is impracticable, why it is not feasible that the direct primary takes place. Of course, I have just given you some highlights why it is not practicable, and we need no soothsayer to tell us this is not practicable. But despite that, the members of I'm not a member of National Assembly, and we'll try to talk to our members. You know, democracy is number.
Okay.
And democracy is number, and also it is also how you also creatively work with alliances across the National Assembly members that did this. But I'll tell you for sure, it is not going to be feasible. It is not going to be practicable. So what the position of the Inter-Party Advisory Council regarding this matter is this. This is designed to smoke out younger political parties out of the political ecosystem. And it's deliberate, it is orchestrated, it is done with this in view to make sure that we don't have a robust political system where cross-fertilization of new ideas and input from various stakeholders will matter much. It is perpetuation of the same dualism, what I call political dualism, political party dualism that has festered in our environment, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Now, Ipac states very clearly that this is not, the motivation is ill-conceived, it is not to the betterment of political parties, and it will not significantly impact the polity in whatever. We're going to have more crises because I know judicial activism and the kind of cheerleading and forum seeking that has enveloped our political system will continue. People will now begin to use that as a measure of suffocating the system, and I predict prophetically that it is not going to impact us significantly. It will smoke out everything and will fall down to one or two political parties, which we're running away from.
Okay. Anyways, I want to thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Definitely, we will continue this conversation. And of course, it is still a developing story because that bill is still in the National Assembly and anything can happen before it is finally transmitted to the president for final assent. Thank you very much, Dr. Leornard Ezenwa, for speaking to us this morning on the platform of Flow FM.
Thanks for having me on the program.
We do appreciate you. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Well, Dr. Leornard is the national chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council. You heard the position of that organization, of course, the organization in charge of all political parties concerning that part of that clause of the bill that was passed into law by the Senate. That's talking about the upper chamber of the National Assembly yesterday. In case you just joined us, it is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions on Flow 94.9 FM. We're streaming live on our Facebook page. You can also join the conversation and drop your comments there. Concerns about compulsory direct party primaries. Of course, we're streaming live visuals on our Facebook page. Drop your comments very soon. I will be throwing the lines open, but we still need to talk to one more panelist this morning on the program to look at those issues being raised. Some are against, some are for. Some persons have come out to say it is for the to limit the powers that the governors have in their states on political parties, especially as far as imposition of candidates are concerned, the forcing of candidates, and also godfatherism. These are some of the issues being looked at. It is for the personal gains. They're talking about the legislators pushing this. Anyways, it is still the platform. Don't forget that will be very historical. It looks like we will have a position, a final position, if that is finally passed into law in this country. Joining us this morning is Dr. Uduma Nnate. He's the Director General of Abia North Political Project. Glad to have you join us, Doctor. Good morning to you and welcome to the platform on Flow FM. All right, thank you for joining us. Now, very quickly, what is your position? What do you think concerning the electoral bill, especially that clause that was pushed for concurrence yesterday by the upper chamber of the National Assembly? That clause where that clause mandating all political parties in the country to go for direct primaries.
Primary for nomination of candidates by political parties. Yeah, for me, it's a step in the right direction and highly commendable. Okay. I actually overheard the other discussion. The Ipac was made comments on the contrary. For me, it is very, very democratic to make the process more democratic and create room for fairness. And then it does not also support imposition of candidates as you have in a delegate setting. So you understand my point? And then it gives room for popular candidates to emerge from the respective political parties. And once you have popular candidates emerging in all the political parties, everyone is happy. And when people are happy in a particular political party, they get more support from such their members. But a situation where candidates are imposed on political parties or godfathers or party ESCOs hijack the process and impose candidates on the party. That is where you have a situation where people even move to other political parties, show one level of disobedience or the other, even some go to court. That is a situation where you also have people running to court to stop one candidate or the other.
Okay, Doctor,
even after
what
election.
area where my first panelist on the program spoke about is the practicability of this. If it becomes law, it would place a huge burden on INEC to ensure its practicability. Now, INEC is the regulator, we know that. But how will INEC monitor, not organize, monitor primaries? For example, we have 18 political parties in Nigeria. Monitor direct primaries for all the 18 political parties, looking at the financial burden, the logistics, and of course some other factors.
Yes, I also agree, except the fact that it will be more expensive and cumbersome to have direct primaries. But the resultant effect is how advantages people are talking about. If it is taken in milestones, it doesn't mean you will just do all the direct primaries in one day in all the political parties. No. If INEC starts on time and give a timetable that they can conveniently monitor, irrespective of the financial burden, either unit by unit, word by word, LG by LG, state by state, and then collect and have, at the end of the whole thing, a candidate that is generally acceptable or accepted by the party. It makes more sense for me than just leaving the selection of candidates at the whims and caprices of the ESCOs of the party through delegates.
Like delegates list that cause controversies during indirect primaries. Direct primaries, which involve the participation of every party member. The party register here is the main tool for the primaries. Now, how are we going to determine those that are the true party members of a particular political party here, when we have even members defecting with whoever they look up to days before election? These are some of the questions I think.
Let me answer. Very simple. Every political party has membership registration book. There is a book where each registered member is recorded, the financial ones and the non-financial ones. If it is if the rule is only financial members should vote during primaries, yes, the party will now say only financial members vote. The records are there. If you leave the party, they cross off your name from the list of registered members of the party. I don't see that as a problem.
Interesting. So, so these compromises on party registers, you think it will not affect this move by the National Assembly?
It will not. You see, nothing is 100% perfect. No idea, no program or event, you will get 100% perfection.
Okay.
But we are saying the one that will give majority, pleasure to a greater number of people.
Okay.
The one that will appeal to the greater number of people. The people that are saying that are insisting on the delegate this thing are people that are already fixated with this pattern of imposing people, manipulate the party ESCO, get whoever they want and impose them on them.
Okay.
And somebody is telling me because people invest on parties and that they need to be compensated. So their compensation will be imposing candidates on the party.
Now,
are we going forward or backward?
Just before I let you go, Doctor, this morning, I want to you to help us find meanings to this. The issue of financial burden it will place on some smaller political parties in quote. No party is smaller. I know they are equal, but in terms of the finances of these parties,
smaller, it means they will have smaller financial burden.
How will they be able to cope organizing such?
What I'm saying,
okay,
with what you have said,
yes,
bigger parties will have bigger finances.
Okay.
involvement in the conduct of their primaries, while smaller parties will also have smaller financial burdens in the conduct of their primaries. Because if they are smaller, it means they have smaller number of people to contend with. If the other party is bigger, it means they have larger number of people to contend with. So the issue of small does not really hold water.
All right.
As long as there is an INEC official sent from that local government or from the
to
state
monitor the election,
to observe or monitor the process and take back results.
All right, Dr. Uduma Nate, I want to appreciate you. Thank you very much for joining us this morning on the platform.
Thank you very much.
We do appreciate your analysis. All right, that's Dr. Uduma Nate. He's the DG of Abia North Political Project. We take a break now. When we return, we continue the conversation and definitely throw the lines open for you to participate. Yes, it is still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions right here on Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's on stage. So let's have your thoughts. What do you make of that provision, that clause mandating our political parties to adopt direct primaries for the selection of their candidates? Of course, that has been the conversation. We've spoken to two panelists on the program. What do you make of this? It has been passed by the upper chamber of the National Assembly, and of course, if it passes through the concurrence stage at the National Assembly, it will be pushed for transmission for onward assent by Mr. President. 0808-182-6949, 0811-605-2949. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
You're welcome.
Congratulations on your time.
Thank you.
First, I'm good, and I'm calling from Mumbai.
All right.
First of all, I listened to your two guests. The first man there, the one of Ipac, has said it all. Most times we are always economical with the truth when it comes to such situations. How can the National Assembly be projecting for direct? I believe that it's INEC that are going to conduct the direct primaries if it happens.
It will be monitored by INEC according to the provision of the law. That provision of the law.
INEC with the political parties. Who will finance the INEC aspect of it means that they will see budget for money for every political. If you are having like 20 or 30 political parties, INEC will monitor all of them. So these are not what we are groaning for. Nigerians are looking for electronic voting to be passed into law so that our votes will be counted when the real fight starts. So
right.
I believe that primaries are parties are first. National Assembly shouldn't have been investing in other people, other political parties. Because political parties have their ideology, they have their manifesto, they have the way they do their things. In as much as that last man was saying that it will cover impunity and godfatherism. But I'm not sure that if direct primaries will help us.
All right, thank you. Let's have more reactions. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You're welcome. All right.
What I like to do to accept the thing to make it sense to everybody. When everybody do make it sense, and later I want to talk about. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for sharing your thought. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to the platform.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Lawman the Prophet.
Yeah, Lawman the Prophet from Mumbai.
All right.
See, I thank God for what He has done in Anambra State. Then coming to what is happening, what the National Assembly has done, I'm telling you, this is called responsive legislators. They listen to the cry of the mass for electronic transmission. And of that direct voting, if to sanity to the political system of this country, at the end of the day, I support it wholeheartedly. Because if at the end of the day, maybe a candidate is imposed, who will not, at the end of the day, person will not do anything for the masses, then why go indirect? So let us go direct. Because with this direct they are talking about, maybe they have found something in it. But I want them to clean out all the gray areas. Anything that will be an impediment to it or that will make it to have problems,
right.
let them look on it so that at the end of the day, these direct primaries will favor everybody, even the political party will now have joy in going through that process. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to the platform on Flow FM.
Yeah, good morning. This is Mr. Chibike calling from Omana.
All right.
Yeah, the issue of the Senate adopting direct primaries is a good development in Nigerian politics. Now, it will make more the grassroots politics more viable. The issue of our party politics in the truth in the local wards and local government, so that doesn't perform. They doesn't have anything to do except during elections. So having direct primaries make the local government, the wards, be active. I will have the everybody knowing, yes, I'm a party member, both financially and everything. I really adopt and commend the Senate for approving that. And I really recommend the House of Assembly to still adopt it so that Mr. President will approve it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to the platform. That didn't pull through. We need to run through the messages now. This one says, good morning, Mike. It will be democratic to allow the political parties choose the kind of primaries to adopt. I will suggest that whatever primary format adopted by parties should be done under strict supervision. Direct primaries has its own challenges of excess cost to organize and its cumbersome nature. It may be difficult to control, and if not, we will plan. Okay, let's think towards this direction. That's coming from Chinedu Okafo on our Facebook page. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome.
My name is Fosu Enyim, calling from Umogelen Vosini, Shalangwa South.
All right.
First of all, next time the National Assembly for this step they have taken, I believe that taking the direct primaries is the best to give everybody the right to vote, the right people they want, and it will make us to know the people that will believe that we, go for us. For them direct, they will go at the back, do whatever they like, and bring out anybody that will go for them. So this direct primaries is the right that we thank the National Assembly, and I believe that Mr. President will sign it into law. Let me also thank all the lawmakers and.
Oh, all right. If you can call back to finalize your thoughts. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to the platform.
Good morning.
You're welcome. Ikechuku.
Yeah, Ikechuku calling from Umaya.
All right.
When we talk of direct primary, it's not good for political, socio-cultural nature of Nigerian politics. We are ethnic groups who are using one political party to run a government. And when we go to the party, we represent our zone, and we represent the entire nation, and also on the platform of representative of a nation, like we have the Yoruba nation, Igbo, Igala, and the Northern nation. And one ethnic group trying to claim more superior by majority. So if you allow direct primaries, the majority will keep on producing presidential candidates based on ethnic affiliation. That's how we vote in this country. Even sometimes religious affiliation. Most countries who have crises like Sudan, who have long-standing head of states like Mali, other area, go and research their track history of a democratic reform. This direct primary is one of it. Africa, we are too tribalistic, ethno-religious society is not going to go well. Second point is,
yes, quickly wrap up your thoughts, Ikechu.
We don't have the larger number of INEC officials or other officials to monitor votes. Register member. If you see a particular party now, just like Andrew Barrow, who used 500,000 delegates to win a gubernatorial as a flag bearer, and could not score 50,000 votes.
All right,
in election.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome.
Michael.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Radio Senator calling from Government College, Umaya.
You're welcome, Radio Senator.
Yeah, thank you very much, Michael. I know today is okay for us. The weather is bright.
Oh, fantastic.
Michael, let me quickly go to the point which you have raised. Direct and indirect democracy. We have said this time without no number. We don't need any other indirect democracy. That is electoral college. You remember that even the election in Nigeria in 1960 and 1963 was conducted under indirect, when you have electoral college, those who finally elect the leaders themselves. We talk about corruption. That is where corruption hit on. Godfatherism hit on. But when you allow direct democracy, that is what democracy is all about. America is direct democracy. Britain practices direct democracy. They don't operate in direct democracy. So please, I think this is a good idea which the National Assembly has introduced. And let me tell you, Ipac or whatever thing you call it, because they are not constitutional. Constitution does not recognize them. If President Buhari signs that into law, everybody must obey. As long as National House of Assembly has projected it as a law.
All right.
If President
Radio
Buhari,
Senator.
we are waiting for him to sign it. Everybody should comply. INEC have enough. Hence, INEC have been conducting elections.
All right.
He has enough staff. He will recruit more staff that will take over.
Sharing your thoughts with us. We do appreciate you for sharing your thoughts on the topic of discussion this morning. Dr. Ken on the SMS line says, "Good morning, Michael. Any person or political party that is not supporting the red primary is a candidate is an enemy of democratic rule in Nigeria." Well, it is their opinion, and they have the right anyways. And you said, Mike, you remember how former governor of Imo State wanted to impose his son for the people. Do you remember how Governor Ipac emerged as PDP flag bearer? That's coming from Dr. Ken. Good morning, Mike. There is no harm in trying. Let's try direct primary for now. Egbe Harrison from Aha May. All right, thank you. Those are the reactions we can take on our phone lines and Facebook page, and also on our SMS line. The program returns on Friday, and definitely join us later this evening on the State of the Nation. We will be looking at this again from the journalistic view, and also on other issues affecting us right here in this country on the State of the Nation. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Wednesday, we call it Way Back Wednesdays, and of course we play you way back songs right here on this platform on the Flow of God's Own State, Flow 94.9 FM. Many thanks to my producer Samson Eze and Akin Loton Tailolu, and also the guys behind the visuals on our Facebook page, Solomon and Stanley. Do enjoy the rest of your day.